What up, ladies and gentlemen, Chen here bringing you guys another video. Today we've got a very special video because this is going to be how I got Challenger in Season 12. More specifically in 18 days of just grinding, which is pretty impressive in my opinion. Getting Challenger all the way from, I think I placed Diamond 2 or Diamond 3, something like that. So it's not like an insanely easy climb, of course, but 18 days, we managed to get it, and we are still Challenger as of recording this video, and we should still be Challenger throughout the whole season, ideally. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a very useful tip or tool just for you guys to utilize to climb the ladder. Now, I know getting Challenger might seem difficult for you at first, but I am here to tell you 100% it is very doable, especially if you're already in that Diamondish range. You can easily go from Diamond to Challenger before the end of the season, I promise you, if you care. That's the biggest thing. If you don't care about climbing, you're just playing for fun or playing whatever, and you're sometimes mentally zoned out, you're probably not going to get Challenger. But if you genuinely care to climb, I promise you this video will help you out. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Before we start with the video, I do want to mention I did make a video about how I got from Hardstuck Diamond to Masters, and that sort of video does help out. So if you haven't watched that already, definitely recommend checking that out. This video does have different tips that I utilize to expand upon that video, but just want to make that preface. Now let's move on to the video. This is the proof, of course, that it is my account, TTV Chen 53. I'm probably not changing the name anytime soon. Definitely check out my Twitch. I do stream every single day from Monday through Thursday. I guess that's not really every single day, but you get the meaning, and I occasionally stream on weekends, so definitely follow me there. It's very cool, we have a lot of fun there, and solid gameplay, of course, so that's the proof. Promote to Challenger. That is the ugly Season 12 Challenger border. Please revert that, Riot Games, but without further ado, very first step is consistency. Alright, so if we were to draw a number line, right, or you don't even have to think about it like this, just think about from your top to your lows, right? In terms of gameplay, main things that should be focused on in terms of consistency will be your CS, sometimes your KDA, and just overall kind of your impact in the game, right? But the two main things you can track will be, of course, your CS and your KDA. So a lot of players, and I mean a lot of players, like very safely I can assume / be certain that a lot of players have consistency issues. What I mean by this is some games you're gonna have 10 deaths, some games you're gonna have 0 deaths, some games you're gonna absolutely carry, some games you're gonna absolutely ent. Now that is fine in some instance, right? I'm not playing perfectly every single game, right? But it's about narrowing it down. So once again, drawing the number line. Hopefully you guys can see my cursor. We're trying to get it in the middle as much as possible. Some games, you're going to absolutely carry, right? But some games you're also going to int. So it's about drawing it closer and closer all the way so where you're inting, you're not inting as bad. So you reach the first checkpoint. Same thing over here. When you're carrying, you're not carrying as hard. Now, you might be like, Chen, what the fuck? Not carrying as hard? What is that supposed to mean? It's to lower your risk. Because if you're all the way over here, you're probably making a lot of risk to get a bunch of kills, to get a bunch of like random coin flip plays. It's about minimizing it, right? It's not always needing to be right here, and keep in mind this is average. So sure, some games you can even still go here, which is ideal, right? But you never want to be around here. And even then, once again, it is bound to happen. Some games I've gone 0-8 in Challenger, right? So I will be around in this spectrum, but it's about lowering it to where every single game out of 10 games, you're gonna hover roughly around this area. And that is what I'm trying to say and trying to tell you guys. Consistency is the key to climbing. I guarantee it. If you're a consistent player, you can have roughly same CS every single game, roughly same KDA, as in just not completely inting every single game. You are going to climb. That's just how the game is designed, right? Unless you're playing support. If you're support and you're going 0-0-0 doing nothing, maybe you're probably going to lose the game. But for majority of the other roles, you know, you're consistently getting CS, consistently getting decent amount of resources put into you, and then also allocating that into proper team fights, into proper splitting, whatever, you are going to see results. Moving on, this is a tip that I cannot stress enough. This is honestly one thing that genuinely got me from to reach the barrier of Challenger, right? Because the last tip, consistency, I consider myself a very consistent player even before Season 12. Season 11, I averaged very, very high CS, averaged decent amount of KDA to where I'm just not completely inting in a lot of my games. So this one truly is what helps me. And it might not seem like it does a lot, but I guarantee it, trust me, it really does. It really makes a difference. It doesn't matter which practice you're doing, just do some sort of practice. And next slide, I'm actually going to show you how you want to allocate your time within practicing. So first and foremost, training tool. This is the most basic training tool, right? You go on training tool and the client, you can practice your combos, you can practice your CSing. This is like the most basic thing. I highly recommend making sure your combos are down, especially if you're playing a very combo-oriented champion, like maybe Riven or something, so you don't just randomly mess it up, right? And then the most important one, in my opinion, is going to be LOL Dodge Game. This is a website that you can utilize. It's it's free. Utilize the dodging skill shot aspect. There will be an option. I'm pretty sure it's lowdodgegame.com/skillshot. If I remember, I'll put a link down below, but you can search it up and find it anyways, where you go for the skill shots and dodging, where there's going to be fireballs thrown at you. You have to dodge those, and then of course there's going to be like minions that you have to hit with your Q. Now the key to doing this is actually not utilizing your flash and not utilizing any other ability other than your Q and walking. The reason for this is because in a game, it's very replicable for you to just simply get good clicks and also hit accurate skill shots. Whereas if you're using a bunch of abilities, it's not really generic enough to fit into how League works. So just focus on Q and focus on dodging. And lastly, this is also very common and I highly recommend this. You can play Norms, ARAM'd, or Flex. I wouldn't recommend ARAMs nearly as much, but in terms of team fighting, it still can help you a little bit, but definitely play Norms or Flex and just practice. Now, moving on to quality versus quantity. This is the biggest thing. If you have a shit ton of time to play League, do not spend all that time playing ranked. That is horrible. I would highly recommend max amount of ranked games you play every single day, no matter your amount of game you can play, is roughly 5 to maybe 7. Now, this can swap depending on maybe your mental. If you're mentally stable, you can maybe play more. If you're mentally ill, you probably play 1 or 2 games and you mentally tilt. So it really kind of depends on you, but in terms of average, 5 to 7 is roughly enough. For me, I personally play roughly in that range, right? It depends on time though. Sometimes I don't have enough time, I'll just play 1 or 2. But overall, quality versus quantity, right? So I kind of made like a very basic layout here. If you have 1 to 3 hours of playing time, you can just go into rank. Now, if this is like consistent every single day type thing, chances are you're probably not going to climb to Challenger. That's just how climbing works, because 1 to 3 hours is probably, let's just average like 3 to 4 games. It's going to be very hard to climb consistently, and it's going to be also very hard to allocate some time into practice when you have that limited amount of time, right? You're practicing and then you're just playing like 1 or 2 ranked games. It's not nearly as effective. You can do this, don't get me wrong. If you're lower elo, I highly recommend practicing no matter what. If you're like Diamond and you have that sort of muscle memory to where you can potentially skip practice, then you can probably go into ranked and maybe you can hit Challenger with that limited time. 4 to 6 hours, you can definitely go into some practice. This is where you can reach the 5 to 7 game mark, right? 4 to 6 hours, you can easily reach potentially like even 10 games, but you don't want to, right? Allocate some time to practice, maybe like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. If you ever watched my stream before, you would know I play low dodge game in between my league games. So even that counts, right? You don't have to necessarily go for practice and then go for rank games. You can practice in between, and that is perfectly fine as well. Also, if you know me, I do tend to potentially play on my Smurf first and then move on to my main whenever I plan on climbing on my main. So once again, that will help quite a bit. And then if you're a mad lad and you have 7 to 10 plus hours to play League, first off, what are you doing with your life? That is miserable, but you absolutely want practice, and then go into some ranked games. So maybe this is like 1 hour practice, then go into some ranked games, and you should definitely take breaks. Do not fucking spam games. Once again, quality over quantity. If your games are not quality, as like let's say you're inting, or you know you're getting win traded or whatever, take a break. Do not try to get as many games as you can possibly get, because that's just not, you're not going to climb, right? So when you have a lot of time to play League, get some practice, then go into ranked, you know, 1 or 2 games. If they were really miserable, take a break. You know, maybe play some ranked flex, maybe play some norms, maybe play Smurf, whatever. You know, just have a little bit more fun instead of full tryhard. And then take a break, maybe have lunch, dinner, whatever. Then go into some more ranked games, like 2 to 3 ranked games. That is the best way to climb, I guarantee it. If you're a player that plays more than 10 ranked games, you're going to struggle climbing. Keep that in mind. I think this is my last slide. I don't even know. I literally just made the PowerPoint, but climbing in League is all mental. Some of you are going to maybe hate me for this, but genuinely, as a player that has been playing the game for like, I think 7 years now, I've cracked the code. Climbing in League is all mental, right? It doesn't necessarily matter how good you play in a game or how bad you play in a game. If you have a good mental or perception about how the game should be approached, you're going to climb. That's just how it's going to happen. And this is where people get hard stuck and low elo. Your mental fucking sucks. You're going to blame your teammates every single game. And yes, sometimes your teammates are going to fucking troll. It's inevitable. It's a team game, but it's about your perception of that game. If you can't learn anything from it, move on. You wasted 15 minutes of your time. Just FF15. It happens. It's fine. It's a game after all, right? You cannot control. But if you go into that game and you're like, holy shit, my team is so bad. I played perfectly. Like, oh my god, I deserve this win, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be really rough on you. Now, sometimes that can happen, right? Maybe like all 4 of your teammates are trolling and you solo killed your laner 10 times. Then sure. Like, I would probably say the same thing. God damn, it's team cap. Whatever, it happens. Just look into a game with some sort of improvement. If there's nothing, that's fine. That's like a big misconception. People think like if you're not improving from every game, you're doing something wrong. That's not true. Some games you're going to get win traded. The game's over by draft, or the game's over by player, or the game's over by someone trolling. That happens. So just ignore it. You don't necessarily need to learn from anything. Sure, if you misplayed, then sure, learn from it, right? But you should have a perception going into a game looking to improve of some sort, right? That'll help your mental a shit ton. Next, do not tilt type. This is pretty big. If you're spamming typing, you're not going to learn anything from the game. That's just how it's going to go. I would know because I spam typed a shit ton before. I'm sort of reformed. Sometimes I'll still type a couple words, but for the most part, don't type. If you are very, very focused on climbing to Challenger, or to any elo for that matter, just don't type. Mute all. Try it. It's going to be your best friend. Mute all is very, very broken. Needs nerfing. I'm kidding. But mute all will help you just kind of focus on yourself, right? Because yes, it's a team game, but it's also a you game. How you can perceive. Because it's your own climb, if you think about it. So don't tilt type. And then lastly, don't tilt Q. This kind of falls into the last slide where if you have a shit ton of time to allocate into League, just don't tilt Q. Once again, the same trading pattern, right? Maybe you lose 2 games. They were absolutely losers Q. You got win traded one of them, and the other one, your jungle's AFK. Cool. Take a shower, go eat lunch, go eat a snack, get ice cream, whatever. Then maybe play a norm, then go into rank. Do not tilt Q. If you played 2 horrendous quality games, and then you're like, let me try again, and hopefully I get a good jungler. It's not going to happen. It's League of Legends, guys. We've been through this. Junglers are brainless. It's just the law, right? Junglers are brainless. It's a law written in League of Legends. So you expecting from game 3 a decent jungler, get fucked. You're going to lose LP. You're going to tilt. You're going to be like, okay, certainly 4 games in a row, I can't get a bad jungler, right? Boom. You get surprised. Your jungler's AFK again. Damn it. I'm going to try a 5th time. It's not going to work. It's never going to help. Even if you're playing good, just don't tilt Q. My main rule for my main account is 3 losses. If I lose 3 in a row, no matter the circumstance, no matter what, I'm stopping playing. I don't care. Like, I don't care. Even if I'm literally smurfing into like Faker every single game, I don't care. I lost 3 in a row. We're gonna take a break of some sort, right? So that's very important. That's pretty much it. Video shows 15 minutes, so pretty long video, but hopefully you guys learned something from it. Thank you all so much for watching. Of course, please leave a like, comment down another video you would like to see, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video for any of your heart-stuck friends that need help climbing. I promise you, listen to any of these, and you will see vast improvement. That is it for me. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all have a great day. Chen out.